can you imagine finding out you were out of a job weeks before Christmas on a Zoom call? Well, the CEO of an online mortgage lender fired 900 employees exactly that way. Take a look.
This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. We are laying off about 15% of the company. If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group being laid off. Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately. We're providing 4 weeks.
This is not real. Oh my God,
of
I
severance.
can't believe this.
The CEO also accused some of the fired employees of basically stealing from their customers by being unproductive and by being lazy.
Can I just add something for context, too? I did a little research. They recently, last week, got a $750 million cash influx from their investors. And then not only did they do this, which maybe they had to, I'm not going to say they didn't have to, in the cruelest, coldest, most, it almost seemed deliberately mean. You're part of the unlucky group. Thanks for door number one. How dumb or unknowing of social cues do you have to be this guy? And then he goes on Blind, a professional network, and says, you know, 250 of these employees are lazy. I don't need to hear any more from this guy. I think this guy has a real issue, real problem.
Al?
Look, I'll just say this. And Erica, you know my motto, and it doesn't apply to you guys, but I always say we are not friends. And what I mean by that is you have to watch how you connect to people, because when places get too friendly, especially your employer, that's when they can start to cross the line and ask you, Sam, you're my girl, can you work Friday night and Saturday? When we say we're not friends, it's not me trying to be cold. It's trying to make me have a line.
I don't need a friend. I don't need an enemy.
And when a large corporation does something cold and capitalistic like this, it's unpleasant. But I would rather have it where there is a line, rather than there be transgressions where you're asking me to do things that are out of my job sphere. So if I know that you look at me as just a number that can be fired over Zoom, I personally would prefer that over there being these blurred lines where there's this emotional connection where, like, Al, is it cool if we go to dinner and talk?
But it's not, it's one or the other.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that I receive your point, and I do believe, yes, when you work in any corporation, you are not friends, regardless of the interpersonal nature. This is all business.
Yes, ma'am.
However, he is a terrible business person and an even worse boss.
He's not a leader.
You don't start off by letting someone go and then telling them how you feel about it. So that just shows his lack of empathy and his narcissism from jump. Secondly, to have a mass firing over Zoom. Now, it's interesting. Had we had this conversation,
right?
I understand that, but had we had this conversation in 2019, people would have been like, well, I don't know. Maybe there was no other way of doing it. Do you know how many people had to be laid off via Zoom just last year alone? And there was still protocol.
Right.
There's a way to do it. You get everyone in individually with their individual managers and HR. If you don't have the wherewithal to bring in HR to let them understand what this all means for them individually, then that's just bad management to begin with. So this whole thing is really just crying out that this is not a company that anyone should want to work for. And the idea that he would go and talk crap about however many employees. So now he's defaming the 900 employees by putting them all in one group.
Right. Yeah. Awful. Thank you, Erica. I know.